Welcome back to my channel, you guys. So as you can see, you have met my 2010 Camaro SS. This is a 2SS package that I have here. I first purchased this car back in September of 2017, so I've only had it about 6 months or so. But I will say this has been one of the best 6 months that I've had in a very long time. In case anyone was wondering, my car's name is Bruce. I'll explain the backstory behind that in a little while, but we can go ahead and go over some of the reasons why I love this car so very much. So I'd say feature number one is the beautiful exterior. I showed you guys some shots earlier, and I love looking at this thing sitting in my driveway. I love seeing it coming down the road, you know, if someone else might be driving it or anything like that. It looks great to me. I love the way it looks, and I think for Camaro to, you know, kind of take a break for a few years and then come back in 2010, one with the release of Transformers and Bumblebee starring in it, he kind of just launched this model of Camaro for Chevrolet. So it just has the unique styling. I love these 20-inch rims that are on it here. I just love the way those look. Those are huge, nice and glossy. I will say that I am going to be getting these brake calipers touched up very soon. I'm either going to get them painted, or I may consider a MGP caliper cover. I don't know, we'll have to discuss that in another video. But I just think the exterior looks beautiful. If you guys haven't already noticed, I've done just a few cosmetic mods and one exhaust modification. Cosmetic mod number one that you'll probably notice is the white bow tie. I love the way this looks. It goes well with my nice white stripes. And the other exterior mod that I did was added this aluminum brushed stainless steel SS logo around it. Of course, those aren't actual holes or anything. They just came in the brushed aluminum like that, so I just stuck it on the gas cap, and I think it looks great. I believe this red is called Red Jewel by the factory. So it's a very unique red. Not that I don't like the other reds, but I love the way it looks. It's very dark, and once the sun hits it, it's a very cloudy day, as you guys can see. I think rain is coming soon. But once the sun hits it, this thing really, really pops out at you, and I just love that fact. Highlight number two, if you guys noticed, I have a sunroof. That, to me, is so important. I love having a sunroof in whatever car I'm driving, whether it's a coupe, four-door, even a truck. If it has a sunroof, I automatically love it. When I got this car, I actually purchased it before I was able to see it because I heard of how such a good deal it was, so I went ahead and signed off on it. I heard the pictures of it were great. The previous owner took immaculate care of this car. I'll explain more about his situation once we get on the interior of the car, but I love having a sunroof. It means the world to me. Some people might not care about having a sunroof, and I know a lot of sports car trims don't offer the sunroof option, but I'm so glad that this one has it, and I use it all the time, even on a cloudy day. Like, I don't care. Sunroof, I want it. All right, so here we have our interior. As you can see, I have 28,431 miles on this car. I am very fortunate for that. For this being a 2010, that is a great mileage number. The reason why is because the previous owner of this vehicle like I said, took immaculate care of this car. It was in perfect condition. The one thing that was different about the previous owner's scenario was he was disabled. So he was in a wheelchair, and he had to have special equipment in order to drive this car. So this is why this bend right here and this steering wheel is like that. He had his equipment clamped on it right here. They removed it for me and set everything up like normal when I bought the car. This doesn't bother me for some reason. Really particular about how things look. And I figured, oh my God, if I look at this, it's going to bother me every day. I'm going to have to get a steering wheel cover. For some reason, it doesn't bother me. I think I'm just so happy with being in this car that this thing right here, I ignore it. Like, you know, I grip the steering wheel. I don't even notice it anymore. But moving on to our gauges here. I think these gauges, I mean, who's really gonna look at these? I don't know. I mean, they're cool to look at, you know, when you got your friends there. Oh, this is pretty cool. Do you look at it? Not really. But they all have a function. We have oil temperature, oil pressure, we have volts, and we have trans temp as well. So like I said, they all serve a function. These are really nice and I would say sturdy. This temperature gauge is also very sturdy as well. I like all the options. Everything is very basic. This is a very basic and neatly put together panel, center console panel right here. I really like that. We have our nice SS floor mats. The previous owner left these in the car and I thank him for that. Beautiful leather seats. We have the SS embroidery here on the headrest. Back seat room, I mean, it's a sports car. Please don't expect much. I fit back here just fine, but disclaimer, I'm 5'2", so you know that's not special for sitting in the back seat. But if you're anyone over, I don't know, 5'6" maybe, you're not gonna have a fun time. Like I said, my seat is scooted up, so that's how much room you have. Roughly. So a normal person will probably be down here. Oh wow, I can't see anything anymore. Yeah, I am really low now. So other than that, I'm glad these have adjustable seats. This is another one of the reasons I like this. My last car, which I will introduce to you guys in the next video. My first car that I had, you know, the seats just went, you know, forward and back and reclined and all that. It didn't go up. So I had to get, you know, a small cushion for myself so I could see a little bit better. So I'm glad that these seats can raise, lower, all of that. I can scoot up. And I know that's the main complaint for this model of Camaro. Why are you buying a car you can't see out of? That was literally my same reasoning for not getting a Camaro, because I was like, why am I going to get that? It's like, to me, the car didn't fit me, so I was like, why would I want that? I can't see out of it. I know it's going to be an issue. I don't want that. I want a different muscle car. I was looking for a different muscle car. I'll tell you guys about that in another video coming up soon. I was looking for a different muscle car. I ended up with this, and my first reaction when I got in it was, I can see. Yes, there are blind spots, of course. This panel right here has been quite the challenge for me on some occasions. You know, when I'm backing out, looking to my rear right, it can be an issue. But I've kind of learned to work around it. You have mirrors that you can adjust and play with as you need to. So I think it's very easily an issue that you could work around. So since it looks like it's about to rain very soon, we can finish this video on a drive. So I'm gonna head out here. I'm gonna give you guys a couple more of my reasonings for loving this car so very much. As you guys can tell, one of the biggest pluses for me was it was a great sounding system. When I say system, I mean like, you know, the exhaust I thought was great. Me personally, I just like loud exhaust, and I have a few plans for this exhaust. If you guys didn't already notice, when I was showing the rear of the car, that is not the normal stock exhaust that comes with it. That is actually a Borla Attack Axleback exhaust that I put on there. So, and I think it sounds really, really good. Do I want it a little bit louder? Yeah. We'll get to that. Anyways, so close that because people like to play music. So other than that, it's a great sounding system. I really like the headlights on this car, and I think that's something that only comes with the 2SS. I'm not sure if the 1SS has these, I think they're LED lights. Could be wrong. LED halogen. They're very bright. I'm not sure if the 1SS has these standard headlights that come with it, but I really like the way these look. I like that you can kind of play with them. You can have the auxiliary run lights on it as well. You can have the daytime run lamps on there as well. Those aren't LED or anything like that. I might make those LED too. I might do that. But that's another great thing about this car, is that it's very easily, is modifiable a word? I don't think that's a word. You know what I mean? It's very easy to modify. It's very easy to play with. And I love that fact. Like, you can do so much with this car, and also for very little. You can do so many different things with this car and not break your bank, I would say. The Borla Axleback exhaust, that might be a separate occasion. That wasn't cheap. The installation, of course, wasn't too expensive, but the actual exhaust itself was a little bit pricey. It was just over $700. But I wanted an exhaust that was, loud, but not obnoxious. I didn't want it to sound cheap, you know? So I was like, what's a good middle ground? So I listened to different exhaust systems that they had out. I know they have the Corsa Extreme. I know they have MagnaFlow. I know they have Flowmaster. There's so many different options, and I tried to listen to them all, and I really enjoyed Borla the most. So I went with their Attack Axleback exhaust because that's the loudest option that they have for Axleback. So I got that, very happy with it. My parents were afraid that the exhaust was going to be too loud and that I was going to be the obnoxious neighbor. I'm not. I'm really not. It's really not that loud. It sounds loud. It's louder for sure than stock, and it's a very refined loud. It's a very refined growl, and I love that. If you're thinking about getting one, personally, I would do it. I was really afraid that this was going to be too much money, or because it wasn't the car that I was looking for, I wouldn't enjoy it. That's not true at all. I love this car, and I'm not saying I wouldn't be happy in another sports car. Oh, hey, there's one. Oh, that one's white. You guys hear that? Did y'all hear that? Anyways, sorry. I always get excited when I see them on the street. Oh, hey, there's another one. See, normally I don't see Camaros like this. Normally I see Mustangs left and right, but of course they know I'm filming today. So I would highly get one. If you guys are thinking about, oh, because it's an older model, you know, this car is 8 years old. So what? It looks great. It sounds great. I have had no mechanical problems with this car whatsoever. Took it in for my oil change when it needed it. The only issue I had was a flat tire, but that's not a mechanical thing. That just happens. So unless, you know, if you're worried about visibility, like I said, take it from me. I'm 5'2". I adjust the seats, and it's no problem for me anymore. So if you're worried about being too tall, my boyfriend, he's about 6'2", 6'3". He fits in this just fine. Yes, his head is a little close to the ceiling, but it might be just a hair closer to the ceiling than mine is right now because my seat is raised. So I wouldn't worry about that either. Like I said, if you're thinking about it, I would do it if you can afford it. Look at all the options that you could do. If you really think that this is something you want to keep long term, or if you want to buy it and maybe sell it later or trade it in for something else, I really think you're going to have fun with it. V6 model, I can't speak on that. If you're fine with a V6, then get a V6. But personally, I love V8 cars, as you can tell by my license plate. So I'm really happy with this car. The only downsides, other than, like I said, the blind spots and the visibility, that's a thing, I'm not gonna lie. Other than that, these sun visors are a joke. Like, what is, that's the sun visor, that much. It blocks nothing. So that's the only thing. I'm like, that's minor. In comparison, that's very minor. I daily drive this car. If you're thinking about daily driving it, be prepared to spend some money. Like I said, it's a V8. It is going to get a little pricey depending on how far you have to go. I have a roughly 20-minute commute to work, 25-ish into the city. So depending on how far you need to travel, this as a daily driver could get a little expensive because I'm at the gas station every week. My last car, I was there about every 2 weeks. This is every week because thankfully this has the it is an automatic. I'm sorry guys, I'm not daily driving a manual. I will be learning how to drive a manual soon. I don't know how to drive a manual yet, but I will be learning soon. But this is an automatic, so because of that, it has active fuel management. So it'll cut from 8 cylinders to 4 when I'm in cruise control. So that helps save on gas as well. So I really like that fact. But yeah, it doesn't make much of an improvement. You're still gonna run through gas, especially if you hit it. Like, you know, you'll be at a stoplight and, you know, you go, that needle's gonna move. So just be prepared. But, you know, that's probably standard with any muscle car. I don't see why this car would guzzle gas any worse than some of these others. So definitely do your research, and if this is something that you're considering, you know, you can compare it with, you know, the Mustang, the Charger, the Challenger, you know, what else is comparable? The Chevy SS, you could look at that too. But I'm personally into coupes, so I like 2 doors, so that's normally what I'm looking at. But this is all up to you. Like I said, if you're thinking about it, I would highly advise it. I'm very happy with it. And the reasoning for my car being named Bruce is because when I first test drove a Camaro SS at the Royal Chevrolet dealership, I liked it so much that I could not stop thinking about it weeks afterwards. Weeks later, I was still thinking about this car. It might be because of the fact that I've been wanting a V8 for so long, and it might be because I've been wanting a V8 for so long, so I test drove and I was like, oh my god, this is great. No, the interior impressed me the most. I was comparing this against a few other cars in the market comparable to Camaro. This interior really impressed me. The interiors of the newer models too, they continue to impress me, and I really liked it. So I just thought about how I felt, how it looked, how I looked in the car, and I really liked it. I thought the Camaro was something that didn't really fit me, but I really enjoy it. So hold on, here I go again. There we go. I don't know if he was trying to race me or not. I don't know. He had a lot of exhaust. Anyways, I get very distracted. Like I said, I couldn't get it out of my head. So I was sitting here thinking, if I got a muscly car, whether it was this car or a Mustang or a Challenger or whatever, I wanted to have like a beefy, you know, tough name. And I was like, Bruce sounds pretty, you know. But I thought of Bruce because after I drove this car, do you know in Finding Nemo, after is it Dory? Her nose gets hit and the blood kind of goes up to the shark, Bruce's nose. He smells it and he instantly goes like instinct rampage, like I gotta have it, you know. That's how I felt after driving this car. I felt like something hit me and I was like, oh my god, I have to get this car. I have to get some kind of muscle car no matter what. And I felt like Bruce the Shark after that test drive. It was just, yeah. You'll think the name of my next car is really weird too, but stay tuned for that, because that's going to be in my next video. I'll introduce you guys to my very first car that I bought back in 2014. I don't drive him as much now. It is a he in my eyes. I don't drive him as much now, but he was my ride or die back then when I first had it. I loved that car to death. I still do, and I still have a few more ideas for that car as well. So please stay tuned for the next video. I'll introduce you guys to my next car, and I'll probably mention a few more projects that I have coming for this car that involve an exhaust, maybe something around engine modification. I won't give away too much, but stay tuned for that, because I'm going to try to post about twice a week. I do work full-time, so bear with me. I'm just getting started with this YouTube. So thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel and checking out my content. If you enjoyed what I have posted and what I will be posting in the future, please don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, you can certainly hit the like button as well. But like I said, stay tuned and subscribe, because we are just getting started. I'll talk to you guys later.